Hey, thanks for watching. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the game Codenames. Some people say this isn't a game, that's more of an activity, but to me it is a game of words and trying to give hints and clues and trying to get your teammates to guess what you're thinking of. Take a look at the table and I'll show you what I have set up here. We've got a 5x5 grid of different words. You can see the words on the bottom there, and there's a whole deck of these cards. So these just come out random. Each team, we have a blue team and a red team, who gets their badges for their agents. And we got the red guys there. And so the theme of this game is that you have agents out in the field and you're trying to get in contact with them, is what the theme is. But you're just trying to get your team to guess different words. We also have this card here. It's got the blue with the red glasses and the red with the blue glasses. And that just goes to the team that goes first. All right. We also have this guy here. He's the assassin. He's actually the bad guy of the game. I'll explain that in just a second. And what you have, let's say, for example, we're playing a 4-player game. You'd have 2 teams of 2. Each team would have one member that's called the Spy Master. And the Spy Masters, for example, would sit on where I'm sitting here. And they would take a look at this chart here. Okay? And now this grid represents the words that we have out there. So the red Spy Master is trying to get their teammate to guess the words that are in red that are on the board. So if we take a look, this represents down here. So these two red would be wall and code. All right, and if we move over here, it's band. I don't know if that's picking up or not. They have to guess these 3 words here: drop, fish, buffalo. But anyways, anywhere that red is what the red player is trying to do, and the blue guy is trying to do the same thing, trying to get his teammate to guess whatever the blues. Now again, this just comes out randomly. There's a whole deck of these things too, and that's how that works. And the X is the assassin. Now, if your teammate ever guesses that particular word, in this case it's spider, if he ever guesses that word, your team automatically loses. All right? And then the blank ones there are what's called the citizens. So if you guess one of those guys, nothing bad really happens. It's just your turn comes to an end because you guessed wrong. Now, it is possible that you can guess one of your opponent's words, and that does happen quite frequently. Being the Spy Master is incredibly hard to do because you're trying to link some words together. So I'm going to put this in this little slot here. And so the Spy Masters from each team would be on this side of the table looking at this. Their teammates obviously can't see this. So what I want to do is give a hint to my teammate, and I want to say a clue and then a number. And the number would reference to how many words on this grid I'm referring to. So for example, I could say animal 2. So the clue I'm giving is animal, and there's 2 words out there I'm going for. Now this was just set up randomly, so it was hard for us to kind of come up with a clue. But here I was going for fish and buffalo. If you see the 2 red there, were the 2 that I was going for. So if my teammate, and if you have more than 2 players playing this game, or 2 on a team, they can freely discuss and talk and whatnot. But once they touch a card, that is their guess. So for example, if they were to touch this card, they got it right, so I could put that like that, and we're 1 point closer to winning the game. Now the trouble is, by guessing animal, we do have buffalo, so that would be okay. But if we look down here, there's also a buck. And so that is actually the blue player's word. So if my teammate were to point at that, we'd have to put a blue card on that, and our turn would be at an end, and the blue team would go. The other bad thing about that clue is, of course, the word spiders there. And if my teammate would touch that, the assassin would come out, and we'd automatically lose the game. So as you can see, it's hard to link words together, but you still want to do that because you want to guess as many words as you can at one time, because it is a race to try to get all your pieces out on the board. And that's about it for the game. Now, again, as I say, the Spy Master, you have to have somebody who's fairly creative, trying to link words together. A lot of times when I play this game, you end up getting animal 1 or kitchen 1 or country 1, because it's really hard to link some of the words together. You got to think outside the box, and not only that, but the guessers also have to think outside the box. This game does play really well if your teammates are family members or close friends who know you, because then you can maybe give a clue that applies just to you or to your family or to your friend group, because then they can kind of think what you're saying. We've had a lot of fun with this game. We've played it with young kids, we've played it with older people, and everyone really enjoys it. It's very, very slow. It's not a fast game. It takes the spy master a little bit of time to come up with a clue. But again, with more players, you can kind of discuss, and it's not a laughy party game, it's a thinky party game, but it's still a lot of fun. Now, there's also another game called Codenames Duet, and I didn't bring that one, but that one is just for 2 players. It's a cooperative game. It's the same thing, except the window you get is double-sided, and you're each working together. I'm trying to get my teammate to guess all my words that I have on my thing, and they're trying to get me to guess theirs on their side. And it's a lot of fun too. So there's Codenames Duet for 2 players. This is Codenames. It works best, well, you're starting at 4, but we've played it with 6 or 7 people like that, and it works just fine. If you like word games, if you are creative, like to try to link words together, this will be a game for you. If you're not really into word games, if you're not into downtime, again, it's a little bit slower game, this may not be the game for you. But if you're interested in playing it, if you're interested in learning it, let me know and I'll bring it to the table. Thanks. See you.